Hello, welcome to this nutshell video on 504 plans. The 504 plan comes from two different civil rights laws. One of them is the Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act, which was passed in 1973, and the other is the Americans with Disabilities Act, the ADA, which was passed in 1990. And these two laws say that it's illegal to discriminate against someone because they have a disability. In the education context, students who have disabilities have the same right to an education as students who don't have disabilities. And when these two laws were passed, the focus was on physical disabilities at first. So imagine a child in a wheelchair sitting at the bottom of a staircase. The school building is at the top of the staircase. Without an accommodation, without a ramp or an elevator or some way to get up into that building, that student doesn't have access to the school building. So that was the focus at first. But then the Americans with Disabilities Act really broadened its coverage to include not only obvious disabilities, but also invisible disabilities. And so you can change the general education environment to lessen the impact of the disability on education. And that's called a reasonable accommodation. This is a general education function. This is not special education. It's not specialized services. These are accommodations that provide access. Decisions are made by teams. Parents are important partners in the team. Eligibility includes having a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities. Okay, that's a mouthful. That comes straight from the ADA, and that is really a broad definition of disability. Major life activities are things like walking and breathing and learning and paying attention and many, many things. So if you meet the definition of disability under the ADA and Section 504, the next step is, does the student need a 504 plan so that they have the same access to education as peers who don't have disabilities? And many students do need a 504 plan, but some students who have health conditions and have disabilities don't need a 504 plan. They can be served under a health plan, and the health plan can serve their needs. So examples of accommodations under 504 might include getting extra time on test, testing in small groups, preferential seating, maybe getting a copy of the notes. For a student with a physical disability, it could be leaving class a little early so that they can get the elevator and get to their next class on time. It really depends on what the student needs and what the student's disability is and how it affects their education. It is important to point out that if a student already has an IEP, then that student doesn't need a 504 plan because all of the 504 protections that a student would get are already included in their IEP. If you've got questions about 504 plans, you can contact your school administrators. If you're a Coweta County parent, you can contact me. I would love to talk to you about it. If you're not a Coweta County parent, you can go to parentmentors.org and see if you have a parent mentor in your county. You can also go to the Georgia Department of Education website. They've got a lot of information, as does Parent to Parent of Georgia. They have a fabulous website as well as an 800 number that you can call for more information. Thank you.